A character design sheet follows the ideas explored in your previous sketches. It serves a similar function to your expression sheet. However, design sheet acts as a finished product to submit for your animation or comic. Sketching should be playful and prioritize variety and experimentation, and drawings should be loose. But a design sheet means committing to one idea, your final product. If you're serious about starting a comic, manga, story, or animation, this is the final step you should complete to solidify your character design. This assignment provides a fleshed out, completed character design. It typically looks like or includes the following. 1. The original character's name at the top of your page. After all, you are designing this specific character and you finally decided on what this character looks like, what they represent, and what they're going to mean in your story. 2. 3 angles of your character. As opposed to an expression sheet that should only focus on the range of facial emotions, a design sheet is a full body rendering of your original character. So full body emphasis from head to toe. 3 models of your character from 3 different angles. Facing forwards, front view, backwards, back view, and side view or profile view. In the animation process, this would eventually be transformed into a 360 rotating model of your character for reference in an anime. The sheet itself acts as a reliable, unchanging reference for you as an artist while working on your story in general. This full body rendering should be proportionate to the style you're applying in your artwork as well. For example, I tend to go for a realistic style, especially when the story I'm trying to tell is rated R or has mature themes. Then I will try to use realistic proportions to match a sense of realism, so a realistic style. Therefore, I will follow realistic proportions by drawing my character consistently 6 heads tall. So for body proportions, in case you didn't know, 6 heads tall is the general idea that most artists abide by. You could even do 7 heads tall or 6.5 for the feet. The head is 1 head. The torso is typically 2 heads tall, and the legs take up about 3.5 heads. So here on screen, I've demonstrated how to separate proportions. To facilitate consistency, I suggest setting up lines to orientate body parts. So using your pencil or pen, lightly draw these reference lines straight across the page with a ruler. Don't forget to showcase your character's clothing while you're doing this. Remember that at this stage, a design sheet is the finished concept of your character, meaning at this point you have already decided on your character's outfit, fashion, and their accessories. 3rd, iconic pose. The 4th model of your character should demonstrate your character in motion with their accessory, so their weapon or their companion or power-up. Let your character strike a pose, brandishing their strength, and commit it to this sheet. This is not always included in a final design sheet, I'll be perfectly honest, but I always enjoy including it, so I have the general idea of my character's personality and what their main movements are with their weapon or with their power. 3 facial expressions. Once again, this is just to cement your final model/reference that showcases personality. In a previous video, I focused entirely on the expression sheet because it stresses practicing variety with exaggerated faces. So like 5 to 10 sketches of 5 to 10 different emotions. By contrast, in this assignment, your design sheet should only include 2 to 3 facial expressions. So within these constraints, 2 to 3 facial expressions that highlight the main aspect of your character's personality. Commit to drawing only 1 to 3 emotions, or you can follow the standard of showing when your character is happy, sad, or angry. If you really want to challenge yourself, draw these 3 emotions at 3 different angles as well. Color scheme. Finally, your design sheet requires a finished, thought-out color scheme. The theory behind a character's color palette could be an entirely separate video. But to summarize, colors are a complementary detail that act as a method to easily recognize your characters. So, spotting your characters from a distance, what colors stand out to you about this character. Let's look at some examples. Take Team Avatar or the show Ruby, for instance. The color schemes of individual characters accentuate their design in two ways. One, in Ruby, it complements each girl's personality. Blake is dark and therefore mysterious. Yang is loud and therefore a fearless, bright yellow. Weiss comes from a wealthy, noble family that prioritizes being clean, like Snow, and she uses snow a lot in her powers, so white is the main choice. Let's look at the second show. In Avatar, the colors mark each character as belonging to a certain group, recognized by powers associated with elements of nature. Red for fire, blue for water, orange for air, green and brown for earth, etc., etc. Once you've taken into consideration your character's personality and their palette, add these colors to a corner of your design sheet for future reference. No matter what outfit or wardrobe changes made to your original fashion choices, the color scheme should be consistent to identify your character. So again, if the outfit changes, the colors stay the same so we can recognize it as the same character design. And that about wraps up all the necessary components of a design sheet. Remember, this design sheet is not a sketch. It should be considered a finished product ready for submission. And a finished product means something professional that you are showing to an audience, or heck, potentially to a company that you want for them to make your comic. A finished product means no pencil marks, so erase everything, inked in, and finally colored in. Consolidating your details, such as clothing, poses, personality, emotion, and color palette. Consolidating these details together elevate the substance of your story. From a professional standpoint, it demonstrates that you know what you're doing, you have a plan for where your story is going to go and what your story represents and how each character is going to act in your story. As a separate note, even if you're not creating this assignment for a professional submission, it still allows you to look back on your finished character design, and once you have more than one design sheet for multiple characters, you can place your design sheets side by side and compare the designs of different characters, determining how cohesive your cast looks together. And of course, it allows you to make note of any changes you want to make for this design in the future. Of course, the last step should always be to sign your name to ensure an audience can recognize it as your idea. Make sure nobody steals your work. The artist/author responsible for this original design is you. Make sure people know that this project is yours. Have a good one.